Good afternoon, everyone. How are we all doing today? You can see we're quite chatty in the stream already. I need to move this camera. Things are just... Nothing's doing what it's supposed to do today. I've had enough already. Who have we got in the chat? Hello, Roseanne. You were the first one in. Pink underpants for you. Nice to see you. Patty is driving. It's okay. So I'm waving, Patty. I'm waving. And we've got Ms. Saurus and Jan as well. Hello to you too. We've had quite extensive conversations this morning via Discord. Hi Cal, how are you as well? The hillbilly interwebs being awkward. No, Jan was just being impatient. Fresh from the cowshed? No, fresh from the shower. Definitely not from the cowshed. Oh, Sims crashing. I'm not surprised at that at all. Thea says Sims 4's been a joke ever since it was just, yeah, questionable. Maybe not trying to adjust it while driving, Paddy. Oh. Anyway, I hope you guys are all okay today. I'm feeling significantly better than I was on Saturday, which is really good. I'm not quite 100%, but I'm way better than I was, which is nice. I just feel kind of tired now. I feel like a couple of good nights sleep would fix everything. So we'll see how that goes. Still taking antibiotics. I've still got a week's worth to take, and that's what's kind of screwing me up a little bit. They don't seem to agree with me very much. They make me feel like really sort of tired and wobbly for an hour or two. Although I have to say this morning it wasn't quite as severe as it was the day before and the day before that. So yeah. Yeah, I think we're on the mend. Anyway, today I have to get down to business. In the stream on Saturday I talked about gathering together my WIPs, and in total I have got 8. I thought I had like 2 or 3. I've got 8. 2 of those, granted, are 2 of them? Yeah, 2 of those are videos, so maybe they don't count. So that's still 6 though, so that's like 5 too many for me. So we are going to do some colouring catching up today and try and get some of my WIPs put back in their place and back on track. So the first one's going to surprise you a little bit. It's not going to be what you expect at all, and I will explain as I go along. Just before we kind of get going though, I have to drink lots of fluid, kidneys, you know. We've been very busy with calves this morning. We have had a set of twins, aka the ginger biscuits. We have had another calf born shortly after that. And one of our kind of like pet cows is looking like she's going to be doing something. So Mr. Jem's keeping an eye on her this afternoon. She was actually one of ours from the last farm, but she came back to us in a convoluted way. We didn't bring her with us. So when this cow was a calf, we sold the calf to our next door neighbour who was looking for a heifer calf, and our neighbour raised her and kept her as a cow. And then we bought her back from the neighbour when we moved here because the neighbour was trying to cut down their cattle numbers. They couldn't cope with, you know, bigger numbers. So the neighbour gave my husband like first refusal if we wanted to buy her back. So my husband bought her back and she's now having a calf. So anyway, we're quite excited about that one because she was one of ours to begin with. But she's not labouring yet, but she, from what Mr. James told me, she looks as if she's going to go at some point, possibly in the next hour or so. He did shout when he left just there, he shouted through, he's like, do you want me to film the birth for your live stream? And I'm like, no thank you. Like, we really don't need to see that. So that may be going on, so fingers crossed that goes okay as well. Everyone's managed by themselves so far, which is lovely. But this is like, it's just starting. We've got 130 odd cows to calf, and we've had 4 so far because we had our premature one as well, like 3 weeks, nearly 3 weeks ago. So it is all go, and yeah, this is it, just starting. So yeah, uncooperative today. My hair is not cooperating, so it's just been scraped up out the way. My face, well, my face is cooperating. My makeup wasn't cooperating. So I think my skin's quite dry as well. So just take me as you find me today. And as I say, we're going to get on and get some stuff done. So let's come down here. The sunlight's bothering me as well. It's causing all sorts of lighting problems. Okay. Now, not only is this not what I would normally colour, but this is marker. This is alcohol marker. So somebody gave me this book just after my mum passed away, just for something easy to do that would maybe take my mind off things and still be like arting in a way. Really not my thing. So I made a start and I was like, if I go in marker first, you know, I don't really have to think about it. I got really frustrated because the paper quality is horrendous. There was a lot of bleed. You basically just sort of whiff an alcohol marker over this and it goes and just spreads out everywhere. So I got quite frustrated with it and just stopped because, you know me, I'm not really into markers. But I'm determined that we're going to get this finished. So I think what I would like to do is just get a marker base down on the rest of it, and then I'm going to get some colour pencils. And I'm going to make it look amazing with my colour pencils, because we all know that pencils are the way forward. Pencils fix everything. So that is what we're going to do. So I've kind of got a little bit of a selection of Copics here. I just grabbed a few colours from each. I'm not really going for like a cohesive theme or anything here. I'm just like, let's just make it coloured. I might even put in some stars and things in the background, make it fancy. So I'm going to start off with YG13, which is chartreuse. And I'm going to go for these leaves. I've got about 65,000, okay, slight exaggeration. I've got quite a lot of sheets of paper in behind because the bleed is real. You can see there is just like, So that is where we're starting. I bet you didn't expect to see this today, did you? So if any of you have your WIPs with you, I would love to hear what it is you're working on. I have had, well, seeing I'm feeling better, honestly. The last couple of days, I've been really motivated to sketch in my sketchbook. And most of you will know that is not something I do very often. I prefer just to work on sort of more finished pieces. But on, I think it was Sunday night, I just wanted to draw. That was all I wanted to do. Like good old fashioned, give me a bit of paper and a graphite pencil and I'm gonna draw something. And I did, and it was very satisfying. So I seem to be getting my creative mojo back. I really want to paint, but what I'm finding is, see, by the time I've set everything up and like set aside some time, I'm just too tired to do it. And when I'm painting, I tend to lean over a lot more and my back's still quite sore if I sit for any length of time, you know, down around that kidney area. So I'm kind of trying to get things back together. I'm trying to pull myself together for that, because I do have quite a few paintings that are sitting there like having not done anything. But working in my sketchbook, I also sat in the garden yesterday. Some of you might have seen the post on Instagram or Facebook. I sat in the garden yesterday because it was really warm here, like unseasonably warm. We got 17 degrees. That's obviously in Celsius. And it was so nice. And I was like, do you know what? I'm going to get a sketchbook. And then all of a sudden I was like, I'm going to get my little Winsor Newton travel palette out, and I got all fancy with myself. So as I was sitting there, our cherry tree that's in our garden, we've got a bird box on it. And I literally said to Mr. Jem about a week ago, like, I didn't know you're supposed to clean it out in between seasons. I was always told that you just leave whatever's in there, and it's likely that the ones that were there the year before will come back again. But I'd also said to Mr. Jem, I don't want to touch it now because it's too close to, you know, somebody that might want to use it. So yesterday when I was sitting out, this little head poked out and I was like, oh, we've got neighbours again. So they're obviously not bothered. And that's what prompted my little artwork yesterday. So that was in my sketchbook too. but it's the Moleskine sketchbook that I'm using, so it's watercolor paper, and that went swimmingly. The paper's nice. I quite like it for watercolor. It did what it was told. Bit of buckling, but to be expected. So a jolly time has been had by all. Much, much more motivated to graphite sketch than watercolor, to be fair. But anyway, I'm just glad that I feel like I'm kind of like getting revved up a bit now. So all good in the wood. Hello, April. How are you? Hi, Susan. I see you in there as well. Good afternoon to you too. Is it nice and warm with you as well, Susan? Susan's not that far away from me. She's up over the bridge further north. I'm so jealous of your weather, and it's really nice. It's nice again today. It's a bit more like overcast today, but it's still lovely. It's very mild, very enjoyable indeed. Right, I think the my issue here is I thought this was a curtain. It's clearly not a curtain because that's a curtain. So what the devil is this? Is it just the inside of the window? If that's the case, I need to go for like a violet colour, maybe, because it would be, well, one would assume that they would make it the same colour as the wall, but I want it to be slightly darker. No idea what colour that was I used because it was ages ago, so we'll go with BV01. Oh, that may well be the actual colour I used. That would be really funny. I feel like that would be lighter though because the moon might be shining on it. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Fix it with pencil. It'll be fine. Be okay. I'm trying not to go too hard with the marker here to prevent the bleed on this very thin paper that's not really meant for alcohol markers. Love a challenge. Pretty close, isn't it? That was purely by chance there. Ulrika's been tidying up. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, that's good, Susan. Right, wait a minute. What's Ulrika playing with? Landscape stamp. Oh, okay, yes. Yeah, it's the cell curving round. Yeah, I think so. Get this little bit in here. Kind of like squinting at things like, Lovely. Okay, so this is definitely curtain. Have I lost my glasses? No, I haven't. I just didn't bother putting them on. I probably see for an image this size, I don't really need them. If I'm working in more detailed areas or when I start to use pencil, I should probably put them on. But I'm actually okay just now. That's a very good reminder, though. Thank you. I'm still just not in the habit of wearing them. I'm getting pretty good at wearing them in bed. I like to read before I go to sleep at night, and in the morning when I'm awake, like super early, I like to read the news headlines. Especially after being asleep, I find that that's when I need them most. Like when I wake up first thing, because my eyes obviously just aren't quite on the go yet. So I'm getting quite good at wearing them when I'm in bed, but generally when I'm out and about the rest of out and about in the house, I tend like I'm just like I'll be fine. Really should get into the habit of that. It's a super. There's loads of super cute pages in here, April. Like look at the fuzzy bear. Like it's just not. I don't know. It's just not for me. I've seen loads of people like make really good jobs of these types of images, but I'm just not that person. I don't know why either. I'm just not. Oh, that pink's a bit wishy-washy. What are we here? RV52 cotton candy. I've got a grey line down here. I don't know what that was for, but we'll see what happens when we steamroll over the top of it here. Oh, this pen's dry. Might need to top this up. This is definitely one I don't have a refill for. I'm almost certain of it. I might just leave that little patch there because it looks that what you can see there is this shining through. There's not anything wrong with the paper there, so it looks as if there's a mark there. There isn't. There is something really satisfying about using markers, especially on simpler images like this. It's like instant gratification. Again, I might just leave that there. Like a reflection of the moon. Do I want pink books? Let's put pink in here. I'm a bit concerned about the foliage. If that's creeping into your reading room, I think you need to look at things. Something's wrong there. Will we make this book pink as well? Why not? Cute colours, like really delicate lemon yellows and cotton candy pink. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Right. The question is, what do we do now? I kind of want to YG17 grass green. I feel like I want to. Might do a bit of blending here. Again, this is what got me into trouble last time though, so we'll see. Could just leave it at that, to be fair. That's funny. I actually don't need to do any blending because this paper is not absorbing the marker. It's blending itself. That's funny. Like I literally don't have to do anything. Okay. I think it's the paper that bothers me more than anything in these books. It's been a very long time since I have coloured on substandard paper. I have coloured on paper that's not meant for the purpose that I'm using it for, but this is just really, I mean, it's a cheap colouring book, obviously. Yeah, okay. I feel like these books are bugging me. Like I feel that there's too much. I was gonna say too much going on. That's not right at all. There's just too many different books floating about. I'll go to this lighter green here. Get some of this down. Ooh. Lovely. I think I'll maybe pop a little bit of green down here, maybe in this part. That looks like an interesting book. I like books that have got a band like that. Usually the title's in this part, isn't it? I like it a lot. A Planty reading nook is quite popular right now. A Planty reading nook. Ah. Hi Maxie, how are you? Been very disciplined with my books. Very disciplined. They breed in the dark. I don't know why I've got. Oh, excuse me a moment. Right, okay. Cool. feel like I need a kind of stronger colour. RV19 red violet. I seem to remember this being, yeah, it's quite offensive in the best possible way. So I'm going to pop that in there. Ooh. This is actually a really pretty colour. I quite like it. I'm trying, like, I'm making mental notes as I go along here, like, right, pencil, need pencil in there, need pencil in there. I left you running when I picked up my meds, so thanks for keeping Evie entertained. You're very welcome. You've started collecting them on Kindle now. Do you know, it's not something I've ever been a fan of, but see, when I broke my elbow, it was so much easier because what I would do is I would sit with my knees up and then rest my iPad on my knees, and I didn't have to turn any pages, you know, hold the book and turn the page, which was an issue. So I did get a couple of books that way, but it was super duper for that. But I see how easy it is to fall down that rabbit hole and buy all books. I suppose at least they're not taking up space if you do it that way. But I kept seeing things. I was like, oh, I thought, oh, I've read that one, but I've not read that one. Oh, I must try that one. Hi, Green Hat. How you doing? You prefer actual books? Well, I am a book sniffer, to be fair. So yes, seems okay. I'm going to move to the to E33, which is sand. This is like one of the sort of staple Copics that I use a lot because I use it for everything landscape, animals, human flesh tones, wooden things. Just decided the ladder's wooden. It's a good go-to colour, this. Oh, went over the lines there. Minus 10 points for Gem Gem. Quite a few of them have self-published on Amazon, yeah. I have a friend, I used to write a lot, and one of the critique groups that I was in, there was a guy who self-published his book, and it was about him taking his motorcycle, and it was a kind of long and involved story, but his dad always wanted to bike to Alaska. I was in the States, and wanted to bike to Alaska, and his dad passed away, so him and his best friend took his dad's ashes and they went basically on this big road trip, and it's all the stories about, you know, things that happened along the way, so he self-published that. I had the honour of doing some critiquing for him on some of his chapters, and it really was an honour. But yeah, he self-published on Amazon. I never wrote anything substantial enough to self-publish on Amazon. I prefer actual books until I have to pack to movie. Sames. Your side gig is as a publisher. It's entertaining. It is. April, you and I couldn't be friends in the real world then. To be fair, the publisher side of things never been the problem. It's the editor that's the problem. If you've got an editor, they're the least favourite people. 0 out of 10, don't recommend. I've got this really delicate blue colour here, B32, which is pale blue. I feel like we need to slot this in somewhere, so because it kind of goes with the sort of more delicate pastel shades we've got going on here. I did a really good job of shading that little heart in there. Look at that. Did that with markers. Oh, must have been a fluke. Beautiful. I don't know what colour to make this. I think maybe that offensive pink colour that we used down here. Right, that it looks really red on the camera. It's like a pinky purple colour. That really annoys me about this. I see the sun's not helping because the sun's poking in and out from, excuse me, from behind the clouds, and it's messing up my light balance here. I was actually thinking about getting a blackout blind for that window, so the place is just in darkness, and then I can artificially light it and keep it consistent all the time. The irony is that Papa Jem makes window blinds. That's like his actual business. So I really should have had that sorted out by now. But you know what they say, cobblers, kids and shoes and stuff. One of them. Oh, I've got mint. Oh no, this is moon white. I'm pretty sure it's like a really pale mint colour. Yeah, it's like almost non-existent. Wait till you see this. Does it actually look as if I've put any marker on the paper? It's a really pretty colour though. I like that a lot. Ooh. A minty book. Oh, I've got YO4, aka Yo4. Oh, that's okay. No, we're not using that because it's completely dried out. Okay, that needs to go in the refill pile. I do have a refill pile. I kind of need another yellow in it. I'll just scoot over here and get another one. Let's see what we've got. why? Oh, why indeed. Got Y11, pale yellow. I'll try that instead. Better. Yes, 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 yes. I don't know if that looks dirty or... Oh no, it's drying okay. Weird. Weird. I just want to get this little up here as well. What is the sun you speak of? What brand of... Oh, hi Polly, I didn't see you come in. It's Copic sketch markers that I am using. Proper old school expensive. So the sketch markers are the ones with the oval barrels, and you get the lovely Copic brush nib, which is my absolute fave, and you get a chisel nib at the other end. I've had these a long time, a long time, and yeah. As a person that doesn't use markers very often, I've never really explored the sort of trends with alcohol markers because it's really not a medium I use very often. So I was like, one and done, you know, like buy a set, that'll do me. And here we are. I do have it on good authority though that the Ohuhu markers are really good. I don't think they're as cheap as they once were. They're still cheap compared to Copics because, well, Copics are very expensive. But the people that I know that use markers have told me that Ohuhu have really upped their game, and they are definitely competition for Copics now, and they're much cheaper than Copics because Copics used to be the sort of industry standard for, you know, illustrators were marker illustrators, that kind of thing. I want a round window to sit at and read my book. I probably fall asleep, to be fair. Okay, we're nearly... Oh, should I leave this label white and write something on it? I think so. Oh, Hoo markers are insanely good. Cold soon, back to rain. Yeah, Rika's got 26. It's always so much warmer in London than it is in Scotland. Polly's struggling with weaving in ends on a shawl you crocheted. My very least favourite part. That's kind of like the equivalent of me editing videos, Polly. I feel you. Yeah, I know. Ulrika's just showing off, isn't she, April? I don't think it's quite as warm here today as yesterday, but again, as I said, we've got a bit more cloud cover. The sun's kind of dipping in and out, but it's easily 16, easily. I haven't checked the farm thermometer today. I've been too busy. Too busy calves popping out and things happening. Oh, Jock started snoring very gently. He's been out cold for hours. Hours. But he seems to be happy, so fast asleep, snoring gently. Okay, I think I'm done with the markers. About as much as I want to use them anyway. It's too warm, you dread the summer. Maybe you should move to Scotland. April's refusing to wear her winter clothes out of protest. Yeah, is this you trying to manifest spring in Canada? Since the children took Copic over, the quality has gone down. Has it? The quality of what, the marker build or the ink, or I noticed that the refills are different now. Like I've got some of the new refills as well as the old refills, but I see I don't use them often enough, honestly, for it to be a problem. 36 Fahrenheit here, just north of Boston. Ooh. Susan's got 15. Your Cockney partner might have an allergic reaction, or everyone might have an allergic reaction to him. Oh, said that. Shorts and 20 degrees shorts and t-shirt. Yay, green hat. Like you can see I'm not like I'm still in sleeves and stuff. Yeah, it's not that warm. Plenty warm enough. April's like, I don't know what Fahrenheit means. 36 isn't very warm. It's not very warm at all. Right, okay, pencils. I might just start at the right hand side and work my way over. I'm really glad I've got this paper here though. There's the blue violet. So oh, this feels horrible on this paper. Oh my goodness. This is not going to be a pleasant experience. Oh, okay. We're not going to get much layering done. I don't know whether the alcohol markers have like altered the paper itself. I might as well be using a Crayola pencil here though, guys. Like that's what it feels like. Wowee. This was a terrible idea today. Hmm. We're gonna have to crack out the Delft blue as well. Let me see how if that helps any. No, not really. Okay. I was just looking to get a bit more kind of like body in that there. Ugh. Right, okay. It's fine. We'll be okay. Oh, this is. Maybe I would get on better if I did switch to Crayolas. You never know. This is going to be far more work than I thought it would. Alcohol markers definitely change the paper surface. Well, I think, you know, just given the quality of the paper, I was probably beat before I started anyway. It's just not making this a very pleasant experience. I'm going to try really light layers, but like lots of them and just see what happens. This is the first time in my life where I've got polychromos pencils that aren't polychromosing. What a strange thing. Look, like that's my normal medium pressure. And as I say, this is a blue violet. It's not, you know, a particularly wishy-washy colour. Goodness me. Can you hear Jock there? No. Still quite gentle, but he's getting he's crescendoing. The caps on the Copic markers do not fit properly. Oh, they dry out. The refills are smaller, yeah. Interesting information, Polly, thank you. I haven't bought a Copic marker for years. Years and years. Now I know not to. I'm like, oh, keep going, keep going. I really don't. I was just thinking there, like, have I got anything else to like tell you or catch up with? But the truth is, no. See, because I've been unwell, I've not really been doing anything, so I don't have anything particularly exciting to update you on or chat about. I was getting a bit kind of not cabin feverish, but I was just towards the end of the week because I was feeling a bit better. I was bored. Um, I just there's only so much sitting about I can do, but I wasn't really well enough. Like my brain wasn't quite firing on all cylinders. I'm gonna grab the fuchsia now, and I just want to make this a little bit more interesting. So yeah, I didn't actually do very much that was productive. And I wasn't really out and about. I wasn't well enough to be out and about. I did manage to walk the dogs a couple of days, but really that was as far as it went. Um, so yeah, but I'm really glad that I'm feeling better because even on Monday there, I didn't feel great at all. I really didn't. I thought, oh no, because I went back to work to my proper job on Monday and I was like, this is going to be terrible. I don't want to take any more time off work. But I don't think I can cope with things like this. My brain was just like blah 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 blah, like nothing. I wasn't taking anything in. I couldn't retain any information. I couldn't concentrate. I was like, this is going to be awful. I work with a lot of numbers and like long sequences of numbers as well, so that's not really very helpful. Like I have to be to be able to focus. So wasn't the best really. So I felt as if I either, you know, I just had to make a decision and I was like, right, yeah, well enough to go back to work. Let's go back to work. And then my brain was like, no. So pink curtain looks like a butt. Oh, here. Looks like a bottom. Will we make it a bit more autumny? Has that made it better, that last line? No. It does, it just looks like a bum, you're right. Okay, cool. I like it when there's secretly things like that that you can't unsee. Of course, I've just made it worse by making it pink, but I didn't see it that before. I see it now, obviously, but I didn't see that before. It's quite funny though. Quite like that. Just gonna put in some. Wouldn't necessarily want to shade that all in, but just put a few lines in. Okay. I don't really feel as if I'm making a difference here, honestly. I think cadmium orange. This might be too orangey. I'll try it down here. Oh no, that's just right. Okay. You can't see that. Down here. I'm going to use that on these pages as well to try and give this some depth. I actually forgot how like zoomed in it was. That's probably a bit better, isn't it? Sorry, not sorry. Finished the weaving. Yay! Go Polly. Is that too subtle? Do you know what? That orange on top of the yellow feels a lot better than the purples did. Very subtle indeed. How are the baby cows coming? We had a set of twins this morning, Polly. When we have a set of twins and they come out like a ginger colour, I call them my little ginger biscuits, because when they're tucked in beside their mum, they look like a packet of ginger nuts, which is a type of ginger cookie that we have. They look like ginger nuts, so I always call them, if it's got to be twins and they've got to be ginger, and then they get called the ginger biscuits. So we've got our set of ginger biscuits really early on this year. We had two sets of ginger biscuits last year. I think we had two. I can't remember. It's fun though. But yeah, everybody's doing okay. But it's been a busy day today, but it's not really ramped up yet. But we've had three calves all together. So we've had the twins, another one, and one of our kind of like favourite cows looks like she's going to have her baby this afternoon. She may have had it by now. I don't know. I won't speak to Mr. Jem till later on. Oh, Jock's making all the noises now, goodness me. Is there anywhere else? No, not really. Okay. I want to go for more of a red colour to do something with this flower. Maybe pale geranium lake. That might be a good one. Thanks, YouTube, for telling the live has started. I love it. It happened yesterday, and YouTube recommended one of my own videos to me. I'm like, yep, I want to listen to myself all over again, honest. Thea just doesn't get told at all. Oh man. Right, let's see. I just don't the YouTube algorithm, I'm so over it, honestly. I'm so over it. I don't even care anymore. Like whatever, just whatever. You do what you like. I don't really want to go back to this purple pencil because I don't like it. I'm going to use the Delft blue, which was marginally better. Yeah, that's not quite as bad. I think the blue violet was definitely the worst. But look, I'm managing to get something a bit more substantial with that without too much effort, so that's always something. Just gonna go over the top of this as well. I'm sorry for the chuckling, I can't help myself, but every time Jock exhales, it's a different noise that comes out of it. He's like, "Her, I shouldn't laugh at my old dog, should I? It's not very nice. Pop a wee bit of that out. Is that too much. I feel, do you know, one of my issues with these types of colouring pages is when I start going in with something like pencil, I never know when to stop because I think that I've not done enough, or am I doing too much? Because if I'm doing too much, there's no point in doing a page like this. Why not just do a, you know, more complicated page? So I really struggle with that for some reason. And I know it's not important, but it gives me weird vibes and I don't like it. Which is one of the reasons why I tend not to do these kinds of pages. I'm going to torture myself with this blue violet a little bit more. It's really scratchy as well. Let's just pop a wee bit of that in just for fun. You awake? Wee bit. Okay. I'll maybe pop a wee bit up the top here as well. See, that's really scratchy as well. Oh, yuck, 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 yuck. I will be glad when I am finished this page. Much more important when I walk into the ship, they are pulling my pint. It's been a long time since I've been to the pub regularly enough for that to ever be a thing. I don't even know the names of the bar staff in our nearest pub. That's how infrequently I go. And I used to go to the pub a lot. It's actually, like, it's not far to walk. The problem is the terrain, because we've got to cross fields and that sort of thing. So we tend to only do it once in a while in the summer, because it's a bit of a pain in the behind. But as well, though, well, since the start of the year, I'm just not drinking the way I used to either, so I don't really have the inclination to go to the pub either. So there's that. Ulrika, that's just mean. I've just realised I've put some grey on the cat there as well. It's like, I don't know what I was thinking. Really? Because the shadow would be like, oh, never mind. I was in a grief stage. I wasn't thinking straight. I have to say that's one thing I kind of miss about living rurally, is that sort of like having a local that you go to fairly frequently. I do kind of miss that now because it was more about community rather than the actual drinking part as well. Um, so I kind of miss that a little bit. I mean, when we go to the pub, you know, there's people that we know. People will say hello to us, kind of thing, but we're just not in there on the regular. Right, okay. I think I'll stick with the grey theme here. I'm gonna go warm grey 4. Might be too much. Again, let's just see. So this is bare paper, so this might I might fare slightly. It's not. I was going to say I might fare slightly better. It's still horrible. Absolutely ruined by having really nice paper and colouring books. Turned into a paper snob. That's subtle enough. Okay, right. I'm quite happy with that. There's also lots of things I don't miss about living in a more populated area. I don't think I'd ever want, I definitely wouldn't want to live in a city because I did live in a city, I lived in Glasgow. I definitely wouldn't want to go back to living in the city. Having lived in the suburbs, I don't really want to go back to that either. Like I don't think I would like that. I would maybe stay in a village, like see if we didn't have the farm. I would maybe stay in a village. That would probably be the most agreeable, but preferably on a farm somewhere. Because Mr. Jem and I have talked about this, like, what are we going to do when he retires? Like, where are we going to live? Um, so we talked about geography of where we're going to live, but also, you know, the actual type of house that we would live in. Because the disadvantage as well, if you do stay on a farm, when you become more elderly, it isn't a given that you're always going to be able to drive, and if for some reason you end up not being able to drive, you become isolated very quickly. A lot of people we know that are of retirement age and upwards have opted to live just like on the edge of a village, so not necessarily in the village, but you know, very close by, as in, you know, less than a quarter of a mile from the village, and that seems to be a really happy medium. We do know a gentleman from a couple of farms ago, and he had a stroke and he didn't want to drive. He was actually, I think he would have been okay to drive, but he didn't want to drive. But he was close enough that he got himself a bike, you know, like just a normal push bike, and he just cycled into the village to go and get his paper and his milk and everything. And that he was really glad for that and was quite happy doing that because he felt like he wasn't losing his independence, you know. It's very interesting chats. But there's a lot of things like people romanticize living in the countryside, and I see it all the time. And I just don't like to like comment on it now. But people think it's all wonderful and quiet, and I'm like, see, living in the country is not any quieter than living in a, you know, a more built up area. It's just different noises, and you get used to it just the same as you would in the, you know, in the town or maybe in the suburbs. The good thing is generally though, if you don't get on with your neighbours, they're usually not directly through a wall from you, so you're not like forced together with them. I'd say that's probably one of the advantages of staying on like a farm, but you'll still have disputes over boundaries. For us, it's boundary fences because, you know, you share a fence with your next door neighbour. So the problem's just slightly further away from the actual building you're living in, but it still exists. And we all know that country folk can be a bit weird sometimes as well, so that doesn't help. The ship has a farm next to the pub. That sounds good. Well, I used to have someone that I went to when I used to go and take milk samples, and you had to drive through the council estate to get to their farm gate, and it was padlocked, and it was like Fort Knox because it literally backed onto a housing estate. That was fun. It wasn't in the best area either. The guys that ran the farm, it was the two sons that were, obviously they were brothers, and they were lovely. They're really really nice guys, and they were used to tell me stories about all sorts of problems, especially drunk people at the weekends, like falling over the gates and oh goodness me. Yeah, just different noises. Cal lived in a bungalow with an annex and half an acre near a farm, but a quarter mile out of the village that had a super. Yeah, see, that's a really good setup. Like, that's perfect, isn't it? Thea would love to not live in the city. Well, I say it has its perks, though. I mean, there are things I miss about it. Having super fast broadband, and you're always the first to get an upgrade if you live in a city, whether it's mobile phone signal or you're always the first to get stuff like that. The variety that you have for shopping for things if you want to physically shop, and the ease of getting to those places. I also walked a lot more when I stayed in the city than when I stayed in a suburb because there was no point in taking the car, you just walked. Uh, so I kind of miss stuff like that. I walk a lot now because I've got the dogs. But yeah, there's pros and cons for all of it, but my preference would be to stay rural or semi-rural. I think especially as an older person, because I'm going to be older and grumpier and more set in my ways than I am now. So I just want everyone to leave me alone. Hate people. One of those. Okay, just to finish off what I'm doing here, I want to put a little bit of like wood pattern grain. That's the word I was looking for. Wood grain. Go, Gem. I think this burnt sienna is going to be too light, but I'm going to put a layer of that down, a really light layer. Yeah, that's going to be okay. Right, cool. I'm happy with that. Just test it out. So just to show that that's recessed in, obviously the books are sitting in a cabinet. It's not like a frame round a shelf. Friend who lived in Glasgow really misses the cultural life, concerts, etc. Yeah, there's loads of stuff like that. I used to love going to the Kelvin Grove art museum. It was one of my favourite places to go. It's in a lovely setting. The West End of Glasgow is nice for city. It's quite studenty, right enough, but there's lots of stuff. I really liked it there. I stayed at the opposite side of Glasgow. I was in the East End of Glasgow, but the ability to hop on the subway and just get yourself round. The underground in Glasgow is just one loop. It's not like London where there's like 9 million different lines. It's literally an oval. And it's really good though, because see, if you miss your stop, you just stay on and go round again. It's really handy. Or if you remember before you get to the next stop, you can get off and go up the stairs and just get the next one that's going the other way. That's it. It's pretty good for that. I mean, there is things like that. Um, Although I have to say, where I am here, I'm very lucky because we've got good train links into Edinburgh, and it's one of the reasons why where we stay it's a very expensive area to live in Scotland. Because we are on that commuter corridor for Edinburgh. But the good thing about that is there's trains into Edinburgh like every 25 minutes most days, and they run till really late on at night as well. So it's like a 15-minute drive to get to the train station, but again, that's not out the way, and you can park for free at the train station. So I feel kind of lucky in that sense that I've got that, because there's a lot of places where I've been where to get to any sort of decent amount of civilization is an absolute mission. And it feels really easy here. I mean, it takes the same amount of time to get into Edinburgh as it would have taken me at the last firm to get to Perth, which is quite a big well, it's a city, but it's a big town. But that was like 50 minutes of driving like really windy roads and all this kind of stuff, whereas you dump your car at the station, you get on the train, and then 25 minutes later you're slap bang in the middle of Edinburgh. So I've enjoyed that access to civilization here that I haven't had before. That's been kind of fun as well, because I've not really spent much time in Edinburgh. It was always, if we were going to go somewhere, because I'm from the West Coast, we always went to Glasgow, and I love Glasgow. So I'm exploring a lot of Edinburgh as well, just for myself, which is really nice. But it's very, very different. Glasgow and Edinburgh are very, very different places. I don't really want to like do too much at it. I think there should be a joint in there, because that, let's face it, you're not going to have bendy wood that goes round the corner. Maybe you will, I don't know. Convenience, I miss convenience. Even in the suburbs, things like ordering a takeaway, the amount of choice that we once had is not applicable here. Again, we're quite lucky here. We do have a couple of companies in the nearest town, which is like 6 miles, 5 miles, 6 miles, something like that. And they will deliver out to us, but the choices are very, very limited. But that's probably a good thing for my waistline and my wallet, so You do not have nice neighbours. Oh no. Had I known, I would never have bought the house. That's a shame, Polly. The thing is, as well, though, there's nothing to say. You bought your house. You might have had wonderful neighbours, and your wonderful neighbours move out. You've got no control over who moves in. And your next neighbours could be horrendous compared to your previous neighbours. Cal's train conductors collecting rubbish. Were you on a train that didn't have any bins, Cal? I kind of like getting the train as well, as long as I don't have to go too far. I kind of like getting the train. The last time I got the train when I was it was when I met Jan though. That was the last time I was in Edinburgh. So was that January, Jan? We were. Oh, Jan's already piped up in the chat. Yeah, the parking is really good. It's like that at most of the stations. No, it had plenty. That's so weird. Ah, see, this is the thing. The farm next door to us, on we've basically we've got a neighbour to the left of us and a neighbour to the right of us. And the neighbour to the right of us has sold their farm. They've sold everything, they're retiring. So there's that bit of trepidation because we don't know what the new people are going to be like. So that's quite interesting. And again, it's back to this, we share boundaries with their fields and our fields, so there's a bit of sort of sussing out to do. But apparently they've put a farm manager in, so that always makes it a little bit easier because you tend to find people who are employed by a rich landowner are much more reasonable and connected to reality than the landowner. So that's a good thing. But we'll see. We'll see. The neighbour on the other side's lovely, and we do. When I say we, I'm talking about Mr. Jem. I don't do anything for him, but the neighbour on the other side, Mr. Jem, does field work for him. You know, like contracts it, so they've got a pretty good relationship as well. So we get on great with them. It's fairly harmonious here. The gentleman that sold up was he was really into his environmental stuff, but he was fanatical about it. Again, retired, nothing, like, didn't have a job, nothing better to do. And he used to get really sort of persnickety with us about certain things because he was doing a bee survey or whatever. And there was one point he'd asked Mr. Jem to not do some field, but the track belonged to us. And he'd asked Mr. Jem to like stop doing something or do something. I can't remember what it was. It was ages ago. And whatever it was just completely like unrealistic. And Mr. Jem's like, I'm not stopping farming my own ground because you want to do a pollen survey or whatever. So there's quite a lot of that going on. So you need to kind of just navigate it. It's complicated, super complicated. So we'll see what happens with the new people. See, a little bit of wood texture, that's nice, but it's not too much. Yeah. Earworm alert. Do you know that was one of the first songs I learned to play on the guitar? I was taught it because it's only got 4 chords, five chords. But the rhythm is difficult. The chords are easy, the rhythm is difficult. I was wondering, and it was Papa Jem that taught me that. So there you go. I love that song. Most of us think the same. This is very true. We have found our people. I really need to sharpen this brown pencil. What colour are we? Burnt umber. I was going to say raw umber there. That's entirely the wrong pencil. Speaking of pencils, I've still got some Polychromos on sale in the shop. I've got a few things to go into the shop. I'll probably get them on at the weekend. There's some Colouring Heaven back issues and a few other bits and pieces as well. So I'm going to try and get them up. I really need to concentrate on filming though, because the stuff's starting to pile up now because the next scroller box is coming in and I haven't even looked at it. So I will aim for the weekend for that. So we'll be getting videos and lots of lovely stuff at the weekend. Righty McHoho, I think I might call that done. I don't think that's a terrible effort. Is it anything spectacular? No. Was it ever going to be anything spectacular? Probably not. I am going to put the date on this though. Let me just grab a wee fine liner from my very tidy desk tidy that you guys helped with. Today's date is the 8th. Okay, I don't know what you think to that. That wasn't the pleasant adventure I hoped it would be. But we can't have fun all the time. I do this all the time, don't I? I'm like, I just need to stop. I can't help it though. This is what I'm saying, like I really struggle with these simple images because I always feel as if I've never done enough. I need to stop, but I don't want to now. Like I don't want to stop. Make the bottom more bottomy. Right, that's it. Let's get there. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this section more than I did. I'm going to take a wee break just now. I need to make sure I keep drinking lots of fluid, and I'm going to put the markers and everything away, and I'm going to come back with the ink house, and I want to finish off my teapots page, so I'll be back to water brushes and Inktense pencils when we come back. You now have permission to talk about food. Off you go, and I'll be back in just a few minutes. Sorry guys, I got accosted by the Amazon man there, so not only did I have a parcel for me, but he needed directions as well, which is quite a common occurrence in these here parts. It's lovely outside now, the sun's proper out. Right, what have I missed? Give me your food talk. Potatoes. Oh. Sausages for dinner, needing inspiration. Onion gravy, mashed potato. Oh, it's too hot for mashed potato today. A chicken to roast, new potatoes. Oh. Cal's decided she's not cooking, so she's going to order pizza later. We are also having pizza. We will not be ordering pizza though. It's just always, not always, but most of the time it's frozen pizza. So Mr. Jem and I have a conversation most days just now, because we're at the stage where we need to go in and out the shed and check on the cows. We had to make the decision of whether I would make something that he could heat up whenever he wanted, or whether just to wait until later and eat later. So we're going to do that. We're just going to have pizza. But that's kind of normal after the stream anyway, so yeah, sausage casserole. Also an excellent option. Boss has gone home, so that fave game of chat roulette is now over. Yeah, we had a roast chicken not that long ago. I'm trying to think, was that last week? No, it couldn't have been last weekend because I wasn't well. I think it must have been the weekend before. Pea shoots. Oh, I love pea shoots. Shoots. Oh, good. Garden peas remind me of my Italian grandmother because I used to sit and shell the peas with her in the garden in the summer. It's like one of my favourite things to do. Oh, happy birthday, Cal. Yeah, I forgot. That's right, it's your birthday. Yay, happy birthday, Cal. That seems like so long ago you mentioned that. Anyway, I want to show you my Amazon parcel because there's something in here that's relevant. There's something that's really not relevant. I wanted to buy these very cheap watercolor postcards. I thought they were more like playing card size, but they are actually postcard size. So this is 100% cotton. They were very cheap. 60 cards in the pack and they're 300 GSM. And I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet, but I want to try them out. So we can maybe make that into a video. Not that I need any more videos right now. Or we can maybe try them out in a live stream. But I just thought they're a nice size and I love the rounded corners. One of the things I really don't like about the normal postcards is the square corners, and I don't know why. Like I don't like it. So we'll see what they do. I really want to unpack this and like feel the paper because like obviously cold pressed it is going to be knobbly bobbly, but just how knobbly bobbly I'm not sure. So let's just crack this open. Let me do this. I need to do this first before I do that. This, yes. And we can have a wee look here. I had to dig about a bit for the ink house as well. I didn't know what I'd done with it, but it was tucked away in behind something. I couldn't see it. I just want to feel it. Okay. Oh, it's a gummed pad. I hate gummed pads. I was having this conversation in the Discord. I hate gummed pads. It annoys me. Yeah, so these are gummed down both sides. It doesn't feel too texture. I mean, there's texture there, but it's not horrific. So that might actually be quite a good shout, right? I'm moderately excited about that. The other thing that's in my Amazon parcel that's not relevant, but Jan and Thea will appreciate this. I just bit the bullet and I got myself a new Pro controller for my Switch 2, and it's the Resident Evil one. So yeah. We were talking about hand issues and using the little Joy-Cons that clip onto the actual console, and if you're playing with them, well, for me, if I'm playing with them off the console, that's when I get hand cramps, so I've got myself one of them. Fun, 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 fun. Jan's like, unpack it now. Polly's got a hot cup of tea. Baby beanies for charity as I need to leave in 1.5. You're a busy lady, Polly, you really are. Right, let's get back to the ink house. Oh, Jock's back to making funny noises again. And get to my teapot page. There we go. I don't really have much to do here. But there is work to be done. So again, just want to really get this finished off. The next page I was kind of thinking I might do as a video. Maybe do that as like a double page. I've not decided yet. But I really just wanted to get on. So I can see some places where I've put in some shading and some places where I really haven't. And there's some places where I've activated with water and other places I haven't. So yeah, again, it's been a wee while since I've been near this though. And my memory is like a sieve. So, you know, but we'll figure it out. So I've got my water brushes here. Are we full? The green one's empty. Okay. That's helpful. Oh, I've got the pencils that I used. I've kept them separately. Go me. I feel like some sea breeze. These are some fancy teapots, aren't they? This could do with a sharpen. Let me just grab my to-go. Oh. I used to smoke 2 packs a day. I have IBS, therefore I prefer not to eat. Hands must stay busy. Well, that is an excellent idea. I like that a lot. Yeah, eating's not very good when you stop smoking. Been there, done that. I've kind of managed to get myself back on track with eating as well. And the day before I had my kidney stones episode, I actually went out for a run, and because the weather's a bit milder, my elbow's been feeling okay, so I thought I'll just go out and see what happens. And like, it was just a toddle because I didn't really know how I was going to feel, but I fell off. But it wasn't my elbow, it was my kidneys. So I have been trying to kind of get back to normal per se, because I would really like to lose a bit more weight. I haven't put any weight on, I just hadn't lost anything. So rightly or wrongly, I weighed myself on Monday morning, which is what I used to do, just weigh myself every Monday morning when I get up. And I have dropped a few pounds, but I have a sneaking suspicion that's probably because I haven't had much of an appetite. See, these antibiotics, they were kind of making me feel a bit sick. But I seem to be back on track anyway, so it would be nice to just keep going with that and try and get a bit more off. Once I'm finished my antibiotics, I'm definitely gonna get back out running. I say the weather's mild enough now that even if my elbow's a wee bit niggly, it's not, it's not going to cause me any problems. So we'd like to do that. That would be nice. That would be very nice indeed. This is a pretty teapot. I like it. Hi Black Rose, how you doing? Given how much you've been drinking, you'll probably have flushed out any retained fluids. Yeah, that'll be the upchucking, yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Well, I'm just over the next couple of weeks as well, I'm going to be so much more active because I've got to walk out to the shed. Take on very early morning and late at night to let Mr. Jem sleep. And obviously I'm working during the day, so he does his actual job during the day. But yeah, the steps soon add up. It's not far to go out to the shed, but it's far enough if you're doing it a couple of times a day. And by the time you've walked around the sheds and everything, compared to sitting at a desk, which is what I tend to do the rest of the time, obviously. So yeah, I'm fairly optimistic. I've just got, I had a conversation with my health professional, because I seem to be seeing a lot of them just now, and it's quite disheartening to know that I've lost quite a lot of weight. I've lost like 24 kilos or something like that. About 24 kilos, like 40 odd pounds. And I feel like I've done really well with that. And then the doctor's like, yeah, but you're still technically obese. And I'm like, yeah, thanks. Cheers for that. So even if I lose the same again, I would still be outside of a healthy BMI. And I'm not that big. I have lots of bust, obviously. That's just there. But yeah, it's I'm trying not to think about that. I'm just trying to maintain like good healthy eating habits, because that's my it's eating is always it for me. I have no problem being active and exercising because I like it and I like being outside. It's always food with me. So I'm just trying to keep a handle on that and keep fairly consistent. But I do think there's times where I'm more in the zone than not. So I feel as if like I've come this far, I can keep going. But by the same token, I'm like, oh, it's taken me so long to lose what I've lost, but it is a lot of weight and I've still like, ugh. But we try to stay positive. Try to stay positive. But even when I was running like 30 odd miles a week, so before I started the cave, and I worked part-time, I had loads of time to go running. And even then, I was super fit, like, oh, I was ridiculously fit, and I didn't appreciate it at the time. Because when I went out for a run, it didn't matter what direction I went in, I had to run a steep uphill, like a really steep uphill on the way home. So at the end of the run when you're tired. And it did wonders for my fitness. But the weight that I was at then, I was still technically 15, nearly £20 overweight, apparently. But to look at me, you wouldn't know that. And I certainly didn't feel it either. Well, maybe I did after I finished running up the hill. But yeah, it is what it is. Just like, whatever, whatever. But when you start to get a bit older, you want to look after yourself a bit better. I am looking for, I don't know whether to use like a more greyish pencil here. I maybe don't want to do that at all. I've got like a lemon yellow. What have I got here? Gold, that might be a bit severe. I know, that's fine. Okay, yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah, like just a tinge of colour. Go with how you feel BMI is kind of outdated. Well, there's lots of other measurements they use now as well. The other one that our doctor uses is your like your waist circumference in relation to your hips and your shoulders. Because what they said was that if you carry fat around your organs, so basically in your middle, that gives you much higher risk of various things than if you're quite narrow around there. And I have got a good waist to hip ratio. So she did say that too. So she wasn't like being mean about it or anything. She was just kind of like pointing it out because she did say to me, because I go to it's like a well woman clinic thing my doctor does, and it's for women over 30, and you go once a year, and it's just like a basic health check. And you can go and get contraceptives and stuff at that point as well. So the doctor had commented that and asked if I'd been weighed because the weight that she had written down, she said it doesn't look right. And I was like, well, it's probably not. So that was how that came about. And she was impressed that, I had lost what I'd lost. And I was like, yeah, it's been a conscious effort. So and she's like, well, keep going kind of thing. But and then she's like, yeah, because of your height and your frame, you should really be, much, much lighter. And I was like, well, yeah, I know that. Visceral, that was the word I was looking for. Thank you, Thea. For Cal's birthday, she's getting a menopause test. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. That's just what you want for your birthday. Oh, that's funny. The things that we go through. This kind of reminds me of a rhubarb and custard sweet now. Okay, I feel like I'm done on that page. I'm not really sure what I'm doing with this teapot. It's quite dark. Do I really need to make it any darker? I kind of want to go in with my indigo. You know how I'm a fan of my indigo? Oh, yeah, look. Okay, take that back. I do want to make it darker. Just in these really heavily hatched areas, like down the bottom there, rar. Bit of gold pen might look good. Oh yeah. Hi Nye, how are you? Yeah, we're in the ink house. We're just finishing up some whips here. I wonder if I've got a gold, because I'm pretty sure my gold gel pen was knackered. I think I threw it out. Oh no, hang on. I've got this one here. Uniball signal. I think we'll just go for it. Let me just make sure that this is working. Grab my wee block of post-it notes here, like the multicolour. Oh yeah. Right, okay. Excellent, excellent suggestion. Like it very much. Because I feel like we could, like, see this top rim here. Oh yeah. Make it like a wee bit fancy. Just a wee bit fancy. Oh, I've just smudged that. Oh no, I hate it when that happens. Just wasn't being careful enough there. Do I want... Oh, let's just go for it. It's fun. Kind of want to do it on the handle as well, but I'm not sure. To make sure that hasn't stuck to my hand. Jen's local hardware store still sells them. Yeah, you can still get them, like the earthenware ones. I think I might want, like, on the inside of the handle. That's the other thing as well. Our pheasants are so obnoxious just now. They're mating, and they're so noisy. And I wish they would like do it elsewhere because they're in the garden. So I let Pip out at every available opportunity to chase them. Like, please go and copulate elsewhere. I don't want to listen to you. There, how's that? Oh, that looks quite fancy, doesn't it? Apart from a smudge. Yeah. Okay. Excellent decision. Let's move over here. I'm not doing anything to these two. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. No idea what colours I used down here. I haven't activated these with water either, so I think I'll grab my big water brush here. Get this going. Get a room. Yeah. It's the noises that come out of them. You're like, ugh. Like, ugh. Right, I think I'll do this one first. I'll work right to left like I normally do. This is such a pretty colour. Not dissimilar to that Copic marker that I was using earlier. I feel like my pencil work's really scratchy there. Like, I can see a lot of my pencil lines. I might have to smooth this out a bit. I deliberately picked this colour because Batman. Oh, my water pen's not playing ball here. Try that again. I think I'm going to put another layer of this down if I can remember what colour it was. I think it might be Sea Breeze it's called. Or I could just be making that up, who knows? It's one of the new pencil, or the newer pencils I should say. They're not really new anymore. But you know what I mean. Yeah, I think I might just make that a really rich green colour. I would imagine that raccoons are fairly noisy. Oh, we've got all sorts. Oh no, mint leaf. I think Sea Breeze might have been the blue pencil that I was using earlier. No, it was called Malibu. So I'm just making stuff up. It's fine. Right, so I'm going to use some more of that on that, but I'll leave it to dry a little bit. Peacocks sounded like someone's been murdered in the woods. There's a lot of animals that sound like that. You know, it sounds quite violent, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I fancy that myself. I haven't seen our. Some of you remember me talking about our Limpy pheasant. I don't think he made it through the season because I haven't seen him at all. I think he may have come to his end, but he survived longer than most. But I haven't seen him about. We usually see him sloping about somewhere, so that's unfortunate. I'm kind of getting Aladdin's lamp vibes from this. Don't worry about the screaming though, in the woods it's just the peacocks. Yeah, don't worry about that. We've got a very vocal owl just now as well, and he was having that was about 3 nights ago, and he was having a full blown chat with his pal who was in the woods at the opposite end of our garden. So we've got a wooded area in our garden, and then our house backs onto a wooded area at the other side as well, which splits us up from our nearest neighbour. Um, and they were just having this conversation back and forth, and eventually I went out and opened because we've got like patio doors in our living room that open into the garden. So I opened the door and I was like, "Will you two shut up?" And it all went silent for about 2 or 3 minutes. And then they started up again. I was like, oh, like, I had to keep turning the TV up, because all I can hear is hoo hoo. So I don't know what they were chatting about, but it must have been very important, terribly important. It's quite funny though. It's worse when you're in bed and they start though. You're like, oh come on. I don't know if you've been party to hearing owls hoo hooing, but it's really really loud, especially if you're in an area where it's quite quiet and everything's really settled. It travels for miles. You're like, whoa, okay. This little dude down here is. We do have an owl that sits in the shed as well. I hardly ever see him because I'm not usually out in the shed at times when he's there, but he sits and eyeballs Mr. Jem, just like sort of oversees things, and he's not the slightest bit bothered about humans. Just likes to sit and sort of perch. Obviously, in the cow shed, it's warm in there, because the cows generate a lot of body heat, like a lot. So it's a nice warm place to go sit in the eaves of the shed, especially when the weather's chilly at night. So we tend to see him more over the winter months. Used to love doing that as well. See, when I was a farm labourer and you're working on like a really cold morning, and you go into the shed where the cows all were, and you just go and like squeeze yourself in between two cows and just like stand there sandwiched between them and get all their body heat. Is amazing. Heat your hands up. You've got crows as well. We've got lots of crows. Likely to be sex talk. I don't know. Yeah. But I would rather not think too much about that one, honestly. I'll just park that. Thank you. Thanks, but no thanks. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think Malibu, this was the colour that I maybe used on here. These are taking ages to dry. I'll flap it about a bit. I've got this little punk chick here. Golden Sun, who I feel needs to be yellow. That means we're keeping the yellow to like the middle of the page. Trying not to put my hand in this. Oh yeah. I'm not going to wet this. I'll just use dry pencil here because he's kind of ickle. I do feel I need to like give him like an offensive mohawk colour though. See what we can do here. His little head. It should really be orange, like offensive orange. Mango, that's kind of like a yellowy orange. That might be a bit more sensible. Well, about as sensible as you can be when you're colouring chick with a mohawk. Oh yeah, that's a good choice. Okay. That's funny. And these stripes as well, I'm sure you'll all agree, these stripes need to be blue. That's it. That is the only answer. Got like a nice cornflower blue colour here. Lapis blue, as in lapis lazuli, maybe? See how this goes down on top of the grey. It's doing something. It's not doing much, but it's doing something. It's kind of cute. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of cute. Okay, our little mousy friend here as well. Oh, freaking adorable. Because it's got a wonky ear, makes it even more adorable. So I'm going to start with Baked Earth, which is a really nice reddish brown. Again, this is a colour I use a lot. You can tell this is my second one of these, and we're quite far down the pencil. Really, really good. This might be the equivalent to my Copic marker I was talking about. You know, like the Inktense equivalent. This pencil changes so much when you add water though. And that's one of the reasons I really like it, because you can use it dry like this. And you get quite a sort of delicate feeling But then when you add water, it really comes to life. It's very nice indeed. Oh, that was not meant to happen. I do want to make sure I've got a fair amount of penciled in. I'm kind of trying to go with the hair grain, you know, go in the direction of the flow of the fur, and I'll do the same with my water brush. But so cute. Oh, now I had like a brighter pink flamingo. Pink flamingo, not just flamingo, pink flamingo. His monkey is his personality, I know. Normally I would just make the inside of the ear a very similar colour to the fur, but I think because we've got this pink teapot, it's quite important that we make him harmonious with his chosen hidey hole. These are taking forever to dry, goodness me. Right, I'm going to move to my weenie water brush now. A straw hat with a bit of corn. Well, for the first time ever, well, when I say ever, the first time here at this farm, I was walking the dogs and a rat walked out in front of me. Like, there's rats in the sheds where the grain is, we know that. And we often, you know, see them going back and forth. But this was actually outside, and it was either dying or it was injured because it waddled out in front of us as if we weren't there. Pip absolutely lost her mind, but because it didn't run away, she didn't know what to do with it, because she's a herding dog. She wants to chase things and, you know, push things or bring them to me. And because this rat didn't move, she just kind of like sat and looked at it and then looked at me as if to say, what do I do? And I'm like, you leave it alone, let's go. And it just sat there, and it was huge and it was really fat. But that's the first one I've seen outside of the yard, you know, actually out in the fields. So that was quite interesting. But it was big, it was big. I've noticed as well the hare this year are massive as well, they're gigantic. We have a lot more hare than rabbits here. But these things are huge. I don't know, but our crops must be good. That's all I can say, because that's what they're blinking eating. Ulrika's got a photo of herself holding an eagle owl. That was a great day. That's one of the things I like about all the agricultural shows. I'm sure I took pictures last summer, and there was a gentleman there with owls, and they were absolutely adorable, like all of them. I love owls. A little bit pink in there. Yeah. Oh yeah, look, he's cute, isn't he? I feel like that's not focused very well. Is it just me? Manuel focus. Maybe add in a little bit more pink. Because this teapot's quite ornate, all things considered. Well, the handle is anyway. Need to remember to drink. Patty's got a picture of herself holding a baby alligator. Yeah, that counts. I'll give you it, Patty. Definitely. See, now that I've got this gold pennant, I'm looking at the other ones thinking to myself, is there any more that deserve a bit of gold? I think this one does. See those little ridgy bits? Okay, I'm very happy with this one. I feel like that one's done. Okay, we're better up here. I'll see, for my Riddler teapot, I think I just want to, it's very patchy looking, I don't like that. So I think I'm gonna try and put down as even a layer as possible, you know, as if I was just using normal coloured pencils. The paper isn't too happy, see, because I've already put water on it. So I don't know how much we'll be able to do here, but I'm going to try. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of a slightly darker colour on these hatched areas. I just feel like I must have been in a hurry. I can't even remember doing this teapot. Like, I can't remember what I was doing or when I did it. But it's almost as if I was in a rush. We don't want to rush these things. Like, especially there, like, see how pale that is? I don't know. Hi, MJ, how are you? I was feeling the paper to see if it was dry. Yeah, we're using Inktense pencils. Uh, it seems to be taking ages, and weirdly, it's lovely and warm today here. So that was the last thing I was expecting to happen. But there you go. We're getting there now. It's 4:45 just now. Normally I stop at 5 o'clock. I am going to keep going until I've got this page finished. I want to get this finished. I'm not in an immediate rush to get finished up. You know, I don't have anything pressing. So we will just keep going. I mean, don't have much to do. I'd like to add a little bit of colour to these counter or shelves, wherever they are. I'd like to do that too. So we don't have too much to do. But just if we run over, I'm not just going to stop dead at 5. I will keep going. I feel okay as well. I feel fine. So I was a wee bit concerned about how my back would be, because that seems to be what's bothering me most when I'm actually like arting. But so far so good. We're okay. Yeah, this is not really taking any pencil. There's like a patch there. That's weird. Weird. Look at the difference though that extra layer makes. See, when we put water on that, that's gonna look fabulous. If it's still cool, it's not dried enough for a new layer. Yeah. Yep. The thing is, you've got room for manoeuvre with these pencils, because if you're going in with the same colour, like see this part that I'm doing here, see if it's slightly damp, it actually helps, because it starts to like blend the colour out. And sometimes I do that on purpose. Not advisable if you're using a different colour on top. I feel like that's much better though. Like I said, I don't know why that first layer was so patchy. A much more vivid colour now as well. But that's the thing I like about these pencils. You can use them extremely sparingly and get a really nice sort of delicate colour. Or you can absolutely go to town and just go ham. I press a bit harder there. Right, see now this is where we can be selective with our water brush as well. Kind of like that too. I have missed you and your lives. I'm sorry I can't stay. No, that's absolutely fine. I appreciate you sticking your head in though, Pete. That was really nice of you. You didn't have to do that. So it was nice to see you. And to be fair, you always comment on videos, so you get a pass. You're allowed. Yeah, there's that green colour. That's what I'm looking for. That's much better. My Riddler teapot. Never thought I would have one of those. But here we are. A blockage. Come on, water brush. I don't have time for this. This Inktense is drying. So I've just avoided those really dark areas there where I'd like really whacked the pencil on. I feel like I need, no, do you know what? Yeah, okay. That is green. That's much better. Much better. Okay, okay. Good. I'll let that dry, and then I'm going to use a darker green just to put in that shadow there. But moving swiftly over, this one here, I feel like that's a gold pencil job. I'm going to take this mango though and use that to go for the hatching. A little bit in there as well. I'm not going to activate this though, because as I say, I think I might go for it with the gold pen, seeing as we've got it out anyway. Why not? Yeah. Okay. Bye to all gamers. Bye, MJ. Good luck at the doctors. It's so nice when people do that. Like, they take time out of their day just to stick their head in, even though they're busy. Like, that's lovely. Like, that makes me all warm and fuzzy inside. I'm going to kind of ruin this pattern if I do that, and I don't want to do that. I do, however, think around the blue area. Oh, autofocus is not cooperating today. Right, let's try that. Yeah, I think these two lines around the blue area are a good place to go. This nib's too fat for the little circles like that. That'll just end up looking a disaster. So we don't want to do that. The other thing, while I remember as well, next Wednesday's live stream is going to be an hour later. So we're going to go from 4 until 6 next Wednesday. I have an engagement in the outside world. I'm actually peopling next Wednesday. Gasp, shock, I know. So I just need a bit of time because I'm doing a bit of travelling. And I just need time to get back and sort myself out and sort my dogs out and whatever. Before we stream, so that might be beneficial to some of you. It might be less beneficial to some of you when it's not at the normal time. But I figure an hour of a difference isn't too much. I figured we'd manage. I will change the time on the actual stream. I haven't done that yet. That is on my to-do list for tomorrow morning. So not that YouTube reminds any of you anyway, but I will change it on the actual schedule. I promise. Okay, that's... I don't know how I feel about that. I think it's better than it was. I kind of want to blend in this orange now. But I want to come over here and do these wee wiggly lines first. Because it's fun. This is one of these ones where I have to kind of hold my breath a little bit. Oh, some of these lines are skinny. Do I do the white line? Yeah, why not? I think we should do this bottom part as well. Wait, see where this dark, maybe not that stripe, just this part first. See what that looks like. Feeling it. Yeah. I think I might have to do the stripe in the middle as well. At least that's a bit wider, it's a bit easier. Yeah. Oh, that's a nice teapot. Okay. Okay, I'm into that. I am into that. Okay. So if we just finish up, I'll try not to put my hand in that. That would be great. let's pop this. Just spread it out a bit. I feel like the orange in pencil form's just a bit too harsh. There's that looks much better. It's got a nice warmth about it. Right, we're good over here now as well. Right, the question is what colour, because I don't really have a dark mint colour, no such thing exists. I've got vivid green though, which should do what I want it to do. Yeah, it does. Feel as if I'm like zooming in and out like a yo-yo. Can you see that? Ah, this is what we're doing. I feel like today's been very productive, which isn't always the case with these streams. But this is technically what's supposed to happen every Wednesday. It just doesn't. That's my bull bellowing again. I don't know what is wrong with that bull. He's been unsettled all week and he's no reason to open his guts, open his mouth and let his guts rumble, but he seems to be wanting to do that. He's another one, like I spent half my life telling the animals to shut up. Maybe I shouldn't be on a farm. Pepperoni pizza or bacon cheeseburger? Oh, pepperoni pizza. He's a nervous father. He's not even aware that he's a father. Oh, the irony. Right. Am I finished? Oh, no. Yeah. I'm just looking at all my teapots like, am I satisfied? I think I am. I need to pick... I want this to be wooden shelves just because this is the ink house and, you know, it's a very sort of traditional house. I don't think that they would have like IKEA white laminated shelves. And there's not really much in the way of texture. Like there's a few wee bits here and there. I don't want to use the baked earth. Let me find... Not amber. Tan was the colour I was looking for. My tan pencil, it does a lot for me as well. And this is one of the pencils where it's a bit of a different colour when it's wet than when it's dry. Ordered extra topping, son is a topping thief. Pizza's always a good shout. So again, I don't want to like fill all of this in. I just want to get a little bit of colour there. So I'll put a little bit more in the shadow areas. Like that. That's enough, I think. No vegetable or pepperami safe in your house. Jock's making proper, like I'm getting it in stereo. I've got Jock making noises from down here and I've got Bill making noises from over here. Constant. I was saying earlier about living in the countryside's quiet. Thankfully, we do have neighbours that live on the estate per se, that aren't directly linked to the farm. And thankfully none of them are the type to complain about farm noises. Because those people absolutely do exist and they're in a larger quantity than you would think. But everyone's pretty good. We do have one of our neighbours has got chickens and our chickens are very free range, and one of them has a death wish. The white chicken, I don't know what it's called, I think it's got a name. But it will step out in front of you when you're driving like into the farm. You're like, oh, And see if I run this chicken over, I'm going to feel really bad about it. Because the lady that owns the chickens is really, really nice. And I wouldn't want to upset her. But I think she knows that said chicken is not, like, doesn't have any road sense. But like when I see the chickens are out when I get to her house, like I slow right down to a crawl because when you're in the pickup as well, because you're a bit higher up, you can't always see like what's down on the ground, and I'm like, please don't be floating about, please don't go under my wheel. Um, and the neighbour gives us eggs as well every now and then, so like, I feel really, really bad if I ran over her chicken. He tries to attack moving tyres. Pip likes tyres when they're going round as well. She like see if you take in the wheelie bin, she kind of has a thing for that as well. She's not terrible for it, but she'll have a go every now and then just for fun. That's quite common in collies. It's like people who move next to a church and then complain about bell ringing. Oh yeah, there's so much of that about. We had a neighbour at the old farm who used to complain about mud on the road. That was her favourite thing to complain about. And we had to explain to her repeatedly because it got to the point the council were sick of it as well. When they were sick of coming out to her. But we had to explain to her that we're not going to stop and clean. It's our responsibility to clean the road. But you're not going to do it every time a tractor comes out the field because you're going in and out. That's why it's mucky in the first place, and she would not accept that. Um, that woman was ridiculous. I'm really glad I don't have to deal with her anymore because she was such a snotty cow. Like she really was. She wasn't even a nice person to talk to. And you even if you don't get on with your neighbours rurally, like if something goes wrong, everyone just pitches in and helps. Like that's what you do, especially if it's something that's quite serious. And you just all work together. But this woman, oh, she was just horrid. Like she was absolutely horrid. I wouldn't have expected her to be like really chummy with us or anything, but she was just a nightmare. She was just like any excuse to complain, and she complained about them combining in front of her house. When I say they, the boys, combining in front of her house at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and we were like, don't care. It's dry. We're combining. So she complained about that. So Mr. Jem got really fed up with her, and the last year before we left, when he was dumping the dung piles to be spread on the fields, he did it right at the edge of the field, right in front of her house, like two massive steaming piles of poo, that she couldn't see past, like she couldn't see into the field. They were like maybe 10 or 11 feet high, and he absolutely did that on purpose, and there was nothing she could do about it, and it was stinking. It's like so petty, but yeah, you've got to get your giggles where you can sometimes. Everyone else though, like see all the other neighbours thought it was hilarious. She was the only one that didn't. But again, this is someone that had come was used to like city living and had obviously made their money in London and then come up and bought this house. Just no idea what rural living actually looks like, and we would have happily told her to bugger off back to London. Thankfully, people like that are. You can usually start to reason with them if they're decent people, but there's far too many of them, for my liking. Like that's a common theme. I don't really want to have to go into the gutter of this book, but just giving this a quick flick all the way along. So I just wanted to kind of like lift the shelves off the page a wee bit. I don't necessarily want to colour them per se, because I want the teapots to obviously to take centre stage, as it were. Or you can use someone who complained that our hunter wellies were ruined when they moved to the countryside. Yeah, the romantic view of the countryside. Do you know that sea hunter wellies, they're rubbish. They used to be really, really good, like I'm talking years and years ago, and when they became fashionable, they stopped caring and started charging like way more money, and they don't last any longer than like a £7 pair of Dunlop wellies out of the factory shop or some other budget. Like they just, it's not any different. It's just that they've got a name on them. Yeah, yeah, you would have just had a good moan to yourself about it. Yeah, it's really important. Um, Especially for the further north you go, it tend like I'm generalizing here, but the further north you go, the more moisture there is in the air at night, just because the difference in temperatures. Like Ulrika and I were talking about the difference in temperature in London to here today, even though it's nice in both places. Um, our moisture level tends to cause the problems, but it happens a lot earlier for us. So if we get a really, really dry night where there's like very little precipitation floating about, it's like you keep going until the moisture meter tells you that you can't. That's them's the rules, because again we get a lot of more wet weather as well. So really, really important, and people just don't understand. Like it's really, really frustrating. But they also don't realise that we're not doing it for fun. Like we're all knackered. We don't want to be doing it at that time. But that's you've Mother Nature is in charge. That's it. People think we're doing it just because we like to rub people up the wrong way. That's made our little chickadee stand out quite well as well. I like that. Because they knew what the parents would be like. That's hilarious. Yeah, kids and hunter wellies especially, like, get out. Just go away. It's like I've talked quite often the boots that I wear. They call them like lifestyle boots now, but it's basically a modified riding boot. That's what they look like. They're extremely popular for going out walking. They're waterproof, etc. And you can still wear them if you're horse riding, which is handy for a lot of horsey people. Um, and the brand that makes you roll your eyes is Dubarry's, because Dubarry's are like the really, really expensive ones. And again, they're no better than the some of the cheaper reliable brands. It's the same thing. You're just paying for the name. So the minute I see anyone with Dubarry boots on, I'm like, oh god, here we go. Like just snotty snobbery. Their jackets are really good though. Like the jackets are worth paying the money for. But the boots absolutely aren't. And it's just a statement. It's basically screaming, look how much money I can waste, and I've got no time for that. Like absolutely no time for it. They're great boots though, because especially in the when the skinny jeans phase was in, you could dress them up. You could wear them all the time. So I've got two pairs. I've got a pair that I use around the farm, and those are the ones like I'll walk the dogs in, or occasionally calve a cow in, or whatever. And then I've got a good pair that I wear for going out. Those ones lace up the front though. You don't want to be messing about with laces when you're trying to get outside, to the shed. But I do have a good pair, and or a working pair, I suppose, my everyday pair. I really like them. But I've always been a person that spends most of my life in boots. I've always preferred to wear boots to other shoe forms. It's just reliable. There comes a point in the summer though when it gets really warm. I've got to switch to like hiking boots when I'm walking the dogs, because well, especially with me being short, they actually touch my kneecaps, like they go all the way up my leg, and you get sweaty and warm very, very quickly. But on the plus side, they do keep you very warm in the winter. So there's a brief period where I go down to like walking boots. But generally I go from boots to flip flops and then back to back to boots again. I feel safe in a pair of boots, that's what it is. And once they're broken in as well, they're really easy to run in. Again, chasing cows has been known. Much easier in a pair of those boots than it is in wellies. Running in wellies isn't so fun. It takes a wee bit of practice as well. I'm going to have to, I don't want to sharpen this, but I'm going to have to. It's getting too blunt to use now. Doc's just woken himself up. When it comes to wellies, we're talking about wellies. I prefer the neoprene ones. So they've got a rubber, you know, like a rubber shoe and toe box. And then just up over the ankle, they're reinforced at the ankles, like, you know, safety boot kind of thing, to stop you getting your ankle bone shattered if you get kicked. And then the top half's basically just, it's just wetsuit material. And they're fab, especially if, like me, you've got thicker calves. They're not digging into you, and you can, you know, if you like, you can tuck your trousers into them, and they're not cutting off the circulation to your legs. So I really like them, and mine are purple. I really, really like those wellies. Mine are steel toe cap ones as well, but you can get them without. And I mean, when they were pricey-ish, they weren't like ridiculous money, but they're the best wellies that I've had, and I've been through a lot of pairs of wellies. But I really, really like those ones. I don't even know what brand they are, but they've been my favourites so far, and they've lasted the longest as well. But granted, I don't do nearly as much outside as I used to. Like, I'm only out occasionally, and most of the time I'm just out for a jolly to cuddle cows and take pictures. You know, I do very little work now, which is nice. But in days gone by, at one point I was going through a pair of wellies like every 2.5 months. So there's quite a lot to be said for my neoprene wellies. Right, we've got this last little bit to do down at the bottom here, and then I think I'm happy. I think I'm done. This has been a delightful page. Like, I really, really like this. Just the added touches of having our wee mousy friend here, and, you know, some teapots you can leave and some teapots you absolutely can't leave. I kind of like that as well. Like, just a very nice experience. Again, not overly complicated, which sometimes is quite refreshing, because there's quite a few of these pages that I've been through, and there's, you know, there's a lot going on. So this is a nice sort of breather page. And again, bearing in mind that the same rules apply to illustrated books as applies to colouring books. You can't have it all go all of the time. It's a bit like writing a story as well, isn't it? You need to have calmer spells as well as action stuff happening. Ooh. I feel like, see this bottom left hand corner, I feel like this is like the grown-ups teapots. I don't know if any of you know what I mean by that, but that's like, yeah, I feel like that's because these ones are quite fun, and you can see a variety of different people that might have these teapots, but I feel like it would be like sensible older people that would have these teapots. Starting to judge people on teapots now, that's not good. That's not good. Like, my Italian grandmother would 100% have one of them. Like, that would be her thing. Should have loved that. Okay, last little bit. You can tell a lot about a person from their teapot. Mine's an old-fashioned metal one. It was my grand's. Never use it. It's really big though, but she, like, her house was just a constant flow of tea. So, yeah, never use it. Sits in the cupboard. And you with your yellow tea tin, indeed. Yeah. Green Hat doesn't own a teapot. Yeah, I don't own a ceramic teapot. So I've just got my metal one, you know, that you can keep warm on the stove. That's it. I don't have an actual china teapot. Again, and it's not something I would use. I drink like builder's tea. I don't like it when it's stewed. Some people can drink tea, you know, like if you overheat it, or see if you drink it out a thermos flask. Ugh. Not nice. No like it. Cal's is white with purple polka dots. I used to love it when my gran made tea though, because she wasn't stingy with the tea bags. Like you could probably get maybe 8 or 9 normal cups of tea out of that teapot. But and she would have at least 8 tea, like all the tea bags. It was like the equivalent of a tea bag per mug. And I always remember there was like a pecking order for people going to get their tea. I was always near the end because I like my tea really strong. Um, so everybody, like all the family, there was like a set order that we all went in. I think most of it was subconsciously, to be fair. And then as my gran got older, she preferred her tea weaker, so she ended up like at the top. Like she always went first. She more or less poured her tea like when she'd put the tea bags in. That was when she was much older though. She was well into her 90s by that point. And she just couldn't stomach it the same. She liked a lot of milk in it. It's funny how these things are the way they are, but it was never spoken about. It was just the way it was. It's quite funny. Right, okay, guys. I think that's pretty good. I'm really pleased. Like I've really enjoyed this page. It's been lots and lots of fun, and that was just a page that I just was sitting one night and thought, oh yeah, do you know what? I'm going to start the next page in the Ink House. So the next page, though, as I say, I might do that as a video. Charlie Cheetah, and possibly Huxley, who's absolutely freaking adorable. Maybe think about doing one or both of them as a video. We'll see. I was just wanting to see how far we are, how far away we are from Geraldine, and Geraldine's right there. Some of you might remember that. That's an old video. And Herman with these with these pajama shell. So we've actually only got those 2 pages. So we've got William de Wolfe, and these 2, and then that's us. We've closed the gap up to Geraldine and Herman. So that's pretty nice. There is another page that I have done further on, which I did before I decided I was going to make this a front to back. Yeah, this one here. So again, once we've got that, there's only a couple of pages in between Geraldine and there, and then it's we're on the home stretch. There's quite a lot of these later pages though where there isn't much going on, and there's a point at the end of the story. You know, there's pages like this which I wouldn't do anything in. So that one there, and this one here, and this one here. I don't know whether I'm going to colour these bugs either at the end. This is the ones that you look for in the rest of the pages. So yeah, I feel like we're getting on, but I mean, I've been at this for years, so I would like to add it to the books that I've completed pile, which currently stands at 1, which is Enchanted Forest. So yeah, but that's good progress today. Right guys, thank you very much for joining me. I've enjoyed myself today. I like it that we've been productive. It's very, very good indeed. As I said earlier, there will be videos out by the weekend. I'm hoping to get some stuff in the stash shop. And next Wednesday stream will be at the later time of 4 PM. I'll put a reminder up on the posts page on YouTube for you, because I know in a week's time you'll probably have forgotten about that. Thanks for coming, everyone. Thanks for the other hands. And we shall see you all very, very soon back in the cave. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, everyone. Bye.